Hello class 8. So today we are going to complete the lesson on Struggle for Freedom part 3. So we will read what we are going to read in this chapter. We have read already about the reason for rise of nationalism, political agitations, Indian National Congress, early nationalists or moderates, rise of radical and partition of Bengal, Swadeshi boycott movement and Muslim League. Now in this slide we are going to discuss about Roblox Act, Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement. So we will read about the Gandhian part. So there was entry of Mahatma Gandhi in 1915 and in 1919 he led to the various movements. So Mahatma Gandhi basically fought, used some kind of weapons. His path includes of Satyagraha. The word Satya means truth and Agraha means effort or the force. It means seeking for the fight or fighting for the truth. And that truth, what kind of seeking you are for? It is non-violent. So he believed that you have to do the Satyagraha. You have asked for the truth from the government, but it should be non-violent. You should not, raise your hand over the government. So it meant ahimsa, which means not hurting any being, and compassionate with all the people, which was basically the ideologies of our culture. He basically believed in Swadeshi also. It means the goods produced within the country, and we should use it to promote the handicraft industry. Social justice was one of the paths or weapons used by Mahatma Gandhi. He believed that if we are fighting for the freedom and there was division within the society, then there will be not a good kind of freedom. So Gandhi fought the evils of untouchability. He had a campaign for the women, their education and the lower class also. So these are the paths or the weapons which is used by Mahatma Gandhi. Now you can see here Mahatma Gandhi, he is producing khadi, vice charkha. So in that way he is promoting Swadeshi. And the people, they are boycotting the foreign cloth by burning the foreign cloth in the bonfire and promoting Swadeshi. Yes, we will read about the causes of non-cooperation movement. So Roblox Act of 1919, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy of 1919 and the Khilafat movement. These are the three causes that led to the rise of the formation of the non-cooperation movement or launch of the non-cooperation movement. Now we will go in detail. First of all, Roblox Act of 1919. What happened there? So what happened? A Roblox bill was introduced in the Central Legislative Assembly by the British people in February 1919. This bill was regarded as black bill. Why it is called a black bill? As it gives enormous power to the police to search a place in India anywhere and arrest any person they want without warrant. So they have a power now in their hand, police, that even if they think that two people they are standing and discussing something, and if they thought that or they have a suspension that they are conspiring against the British to the English people or British Empire, they can just arrest them and there should be no need of any kind of warrant. They can just put them behind the bars. So it gives immense power to the police, and it took the power of privacy or power to speak, right to speak from the Indian people. This bill is basically regarded as no dalil, no vakil and no appeal. That means no plea, no lawyer and no appeal. Directly they can arrest you. It includes of the arrest without warrant, secret trials, where there are restrictions in formation of movement and the public meeting. So it was all restricted. So Indian people don't like it, they call it a black bill. That's why the basic purpose of this act is to curb the growing nationalist nationalist feeling rise in the country, because when people they form meeting, they discuss over what is wrong going on. So they basically form this act so that Indian people, they can't form a kind of organization, and if they will not meet, they can't be able to discuss and do anything against the British people. So basically this was meant to cut the rising nationalist feeling among the people. This was boycotted by Mahatma Gandhi and people. Now because of the result of the Roblox Act, because it was being, the martial act which was passed by the British government, the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy happened. Now you have seen many times in movies also about Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. So what happened on 13th April 1919, people assembled at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, which is a big area, but it is having just one entrance, and it was the day of Baisakhi festival. So people was assembled there to celebrate and to discuss on various matters. They were all people who were not carrying any weapons, like they were old people, they were children, they were being women, they were being youth was being there. So people assembled there peacefully, basically to defy the arrest of their two prominent leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichuri, by the Roblox Act. So these two important leaders, they were being arrested by the British people or police by the Roblox Act, because they were just they were not discussing anything, but they said that okay, we found them that they were just discussing against the British people, so they arrested them. So people were just discussing that and celebrating Baisakhi. So Jallianwala Bagh was an open space which has only one entrance and exit. So General Dyer, when he got this information that people have assembled there and they are defying the Roblox Act, he came there with his force, blocked the only entrance and exit. He ordered his troops to open the fire upon the peaceful crowd, which includes of children, women, and old people. For 10 minutes, the fire opened and it took away the life of so many people. So this led to death of innocent 400 people and more than 300 people were injured. And this was just the government documentation. There were a lot of people who died there. This totally shook Mahatma Gandhi as well as the other people because it was a big massacre. Like, they were innocent people of India, and it created a lot of hatred towards the British people, and became one of the causes of non-cooperation movement by Mahatma Gandhi. So you can see here Jallianwala Bagh. The people, they have not got even time to run. The children were killed, the women were being killed there. Now there was a memorial which was being constructed by the government of Ambedkar there. So this is the top view of the memorial of Jallianwala Bagh, whereas this is the front view of the Jallianwala Bagh. And you can see here still the marks of the bullets on the wall of Jallianwala Bagh. Now we will read about the Khilafat movement. So these are the two brothers, Ali brothers, who are basically regarded as the person who led the Khilafat movement. So Khilafat movement, it was been launched by two brothers, Ali brothers, basically Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. The Turkey was defeated from British in the First World War, and the peace treaty was being signed with Turkey, where most of the power of Sultan was being taken away. So the Sultan of Turkey is basically the Khalifa of the Muslims, or we can say the religious head of the Muslims. So he was being insulted by the British people in Turkey. His power was being taken away by the British people. This has hurted the sentiments of the Indian Muslims, that how their religious head can be insulted by the British people. So Ali brothers, they launched Khilafat movement. Khilafat means against the British government, which later merged with the non-cooperation movement, as Gandhi saw that this is the only opportunity where we can get united with the Muslim people, and to unite Hindu Muslim for fight against the common enemy, that is the Britishers. So Khilafat movement also turned to be one of the reasons for the launching of the non-cooperation. Now we will read about the programs of the non-cooperation movement. So non-cooperation movement, it was launched in 1921 and it got stopped in 1922. So first of all, we'll discuss about the negative programs. So boycott of legislative assembly. So Mahatma Gandhi said that who are the members of legislative assembly, they boycott their legislative. That means they will not go to legislative assembly. The boycott of law courts by the lawyers. The lawyers will not go to the courts. The boycott of government schools and colleges by the students and the teachers. The boycott of British goods and surrender of the titles are non-refusal. So these are the boycott. That means nobody will support the British government. Nobody will go to schools, colleges. The lawyers will not go to law courts. The legislative people will not go to legislative assemblies. British goods will not be used by the Indian people. The people who are getting the post, they can surrender that post. Now there were positive programs. Hindu-Muslim unity was in there. Removal of untouchability was there. The people participated in a full way. Promotion of Swadesh and Khadi was in there. Promotion of prohibition of the intoxicating drink. So these are basically the programs of non-cooperation movement. You can see here this is a huge crowd which just came onto the road. So basically it led this movement. Now we will read about the suspension of non-cooperation movement and Chora Chori incident. So this movement was going on in a high fun. The people has been very actively participating. But what became a reason which led the Mahatma Gandhi to suspend this movement? So Mahatma Gandhi had launched the non-cooperation in 1920, and for 2 years it raised a firestorm throughout the country. But what happened on 5th of February 1922, a clash took place at Chora Chori, which is a small town in the district of Gorakhpur in UP. Police officers have been beaten the peaceful satyagrahi. So satyagrahi volunteers, they were peacefully protesting against the British government. So these people were being beaten away by the police officers, which angered the people, and they start back beating them, the police officers, and which led the police officers to move inside the police stations. And these volunteers, by anger, they burnt the police station, which led to the death of 22 policemen within the police station. This was a big shock for the Mahatma Gandhi, because he was a believer of non-violence and he wanted the movement to go by non-violence. So he realized that country was not ready to get the freedom from non-violent struggle. So that's why he just suspended the non-cooperation movement and was arrested, which led to the end of the non-cooperation movement. Now basically you can see here, this became one of the reasons which led to suspension of this movement, and Mahatma Gandhi was being arrested, and after that there were other movements which were launched by Mahatma Gandhi. I hope you all understood. Thank you so much. Now we will read about the impact and significance of the non-cooperation movement. So non-cooperation movement, it provided great national base to the Congress. Secondly, the movement, it shook the prestige of the Britishers. Earlier people thought that no one can defeat the Britishers, but now the movement provides a hope to the people. The movement made people bold and fearless. They are ready to lay down their lives, sacrifice. The movement also focused on the removal of untouchability and promotion of khadi to become self-reliant. The movement set the platform for the Hindu-Muslim unity. Earlier, the struggle for freedom was led by leaders, but non-cooperation movement turned it to be a mass movement. These are the impact or the significance of non-cooperation movement. Thank you.